Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So, just a couple of things I want to happen in this episode because it wasn't too crazy. It wasn't too great, but it wasn't terrible either, right? Now, there's a scene where you have the whole Kyriakis family together, Sarah, Xander, um, even Alex decides to show up, and, Maggie gives him a watch of Victor's. And I'm like, bro, you've been acting like an ass for a hot minute. Like, you don't. Part of me was like, does he really deserve that watch? There's one point where Alex says something that's so. I don't even want to sit there and say out of character, but it's so left field when he's talking about the employees and everything like that. And this is exactly where I was just like, yeah, he definitely did deserve this watch. He's like, oh, don't you just hate, like there's a point where I got to sit there and write all these, thank you letters to employees and stuff like that. Isn't me just paying them? Like, isn't that just like enough? And everybody in the room just looked at him like, I'm sorry, what? Like, how even Sarah was sitting there looking at him kind of side out like, bro, really? It, I mean, the level of arrogance that came from him was just, I mean, it was mind blowing. So of course Maggie says something as far as, Victor would never sit there and really have that sort of attitude, like, you treat your employees with respect and stuff like that. And it's not like Alex like, well, I don't do that or anything like that. It's just like, it's just so annoying. And I don't feel like kissing their asses and pretending this and that and the third. And like, again, everyone just sit there looking at him like, what? And that was the thing. That was the thing that the comment was so out of place and almost out of character. Like, I know that Alex would sit there and come across as arrogant and cocky and stuff like that, but he's never really came off like. I would expect Chad to sit there and say something like that. I would expect Chad to say something like that. That literally came out of nowhere. But that was the thing, though. It was like an argument was needed to happen. Somebody needed to say something that was so out of line that everyone in the room was just like it just changed the whole energy in the room. The toast of Victor and Constantine is talking in his Greek language or whatever, and that just like sullied the whole party. Teresa's there and stuff, and at first Constantine just comes on in like, oh, something, 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 and everyone's just like, what are you doing here? When he comes in, there's a point where he tells Maggie, he's like, hey, listen, I'm leaving tonight, yada yada yada. And Teresa breathes a sign of relief, like, oh, thank goodness. I'm like, well, if you honestly think that he's going to let you go that easily, like, you don't have money stake in this whole thing, you're fooling yourself. Fooling yourself. So, of course, at some point, I guess because Teresa, I don't know, uses the restroom and he leaves for a minute, and, even Sarah's like, yeah, I'm kind of happy that he's leaving. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's been really great for my mom and stuff like that, but both of them, him, I mean, her and Xander agreed that, like, yo, it is time for you to go. And Constantine seems like, oh, yeah, by the way, I'm not leaving. No, actually, to tell you the truth, I expect to be here living in his mansion by tonight. Like, oh, there's this trick I know. And he, like, breaks his ankle, and I'm like, damn. I mean, you are committed to this money, aren't you? You are full blown committed to this money in this scheme. I mean, you broke a body part for that. Damn, bro. I was going to sit there and say, does he have an ounce of compassion? But no, no, he does not. He breaks his ankle or sprains his ankle. He comes in there, he yells, and then they help him on a chair. And Alex is, he's walking by, he's like, I can't believe this happened. And Justin looks at it and is like, yeah, I can't believe it either. Like he knows there's something off. And I think everyone in the room probably felt that, like, oh, you was gonna sit there and leave, and now you broke your foot, so now you can't leave. What are the odds, right? I mean, the day you were gonna leave, it just sprained your ankle. There's a chance. It's just that's what I said. It's like everyone just. I felt like everyone except for Maggie was just like, there's something off about that. So of course Maggie insists that he stays, and he stays. Because Cassidy is committed to whatever this is. Um, Harris, Chad have a conversation. They're talking about just having a miserable Christmas or Christmas Eve or whatever. Talking about their breakups, their failures and stuff. Everett walks right on in. Chad's like, why don't you pull up a chair? What universe does that make sense? I mean, yeah, you gotta work with this guy because he's the only reporter that you have, but you don't have to sit there and break bread with this guy. You don't have to sit there and be sharing a beer with this guy. Like, what are you doing? So anyway, he sits down there, and they talk about Stephanie for a little bit, which is super awkward, right? But here's something I noticed. This is the second time. Yeah, second time. After they finish talking about Stephanie and awkwardness and Everett Smith trying to be tactful and be nice, not really kind of go into too much detail about how he knows Stephanie. They start talking about the illegal substance problem, the illegal substances that's been in the area and the spike and stuff like that. It's like whenever Chad and Everett talk about anything else other than Stephanie, they seem like they are pretty. I mean, I guess I would sit there and say civil, but like even when it was when you talking about Abby and the kids and stuff like that, it seemed like they got along. And I wouldn't put it past them if somehow they were able to get over the Stephanie part. I don't think that they would really sit there and clash as much as they do. And of course, Harris, they're talking about Stephanie the whole time. And Harris knows that, like, yo, listen, I made out with this chick, but he doesn't really sit there and say anything. So he keeps on the illegal substance stuff, and then he gets a tip from one of his CIs that somebody made a drop in the area. Meanwhile, you got Stefan and Ava, freezing their asses off outside waiting for this delivery. They get to talking about Gabby and how afraid she is, and she got to sit there and look over her shoulders and stuff. And then he brings up the fact that EJ knows because he asked EJ for help, and she is like, "Are you serious? He's a DA, and you told him everything. What is the matter with you?" So they talk about that for a while, and at some point the delivery does come. I don't understand why it took them this long to sit there and take the substance stuff inside inside the building. Like you didn't have any help. Y'all two just gotta sit there and lug all that stuff by yourself. And why are you just standing there? You got stuff just out there. Y'all two clearly don't want to get caught. Y'all just like, yeah, I guess you gotta sit there and take the stuff inside. I mean, this sucks. You know what's sucking even worse? Somebody caught y'all with that stuff by your. Like, this is the part where it just gets laughable. And of course, they're about to sit there and take the stuff in. I think it was Stefan or Ava grabbed some of the stuff. And I was like, hey, What's going on? He doesn't say it like that, but they're all like shook and frozen. And I'm like, man, what are the odds? You guys took so long, and now he just shows up. I'm like, man, this is laughable at this point. This is laughable at this point. Brady was sitting there talking to Teresa about Rachel and how you can sit there and see her on Christmas and stuff, and it does suck. I would feel like with Rachel is his favorite. I know you're not supposed to have favorites, but well, he has a favorite, and that's Rachel. Just like Sonny Corinthos from General Hospital has Michael as a favorite, he has Rachel as a favorite. In all reality, I'm surprised that Tate is not more resentful of Brady at this point. But yeah, those are just kind of some of the highlights I want to sit there and talk about. I'm pretty sure there's other stuff that I might have missed, but I think that's the general point of the episode. You could have missed it. You didn't really miss that much. Actually, to tell you the truth, yesterday for Christmas episode, it was pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie, it was actually pretty decent. Like this one didn't suck. It was just like I don't know. Could have missed it. I mean, it's not like they're not gonna sit there and show that same part towards the end tomorrow. So anyway, let me just throw this on in the comment section below. If I miss anything, come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows, Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, Born and Beautiful, Young and the Restless. I'll see you in the next video.